I'm Cash, and welcome back to Cash Talks Football, where we break down all the goals scored in the Premier League, and I've got no idea how to get rid of the glare on my glasses. If you let me know, put it in the comments below. Okay, so today we're going to expose more of the fact that Manchester City have got no clue whatsoever of how to defend, and under a little bit of pressure, it all breaks down. So first off, we're just going to run this first goal, and we're going to show you they don't know and understand when to pressure. They're like a system in shape, and when they're in certain zones, what they need to do. So how do we know this, right? So when this ball comes in here, this little wee chappy plays it in. Bosh, right. So we've got a point of cover. Are we okay? Yes. What we can see right here is we've got a point of pressure. We're happy with that. And from that point, then we have to look at, okay, is he going to win the ball? And how do we get people around him? So what does that mean? Okay, so when this ball comes in here, bomb. Can he win the ball? No. But can we get people around him? Yeah, kind of. We've got two people tracking this runner coming across here. Okay, so this was the initial phase of play. Goes up. Can we defend that? Yeah, we have. We've defended that phase. Now we've got to look at the next one. So what's that mean? Right, so the ball was played up. There was where the ball was received. We've pushed him back to our midfield zone here. Now we need to defend and get our shape organised and try to actually win possession instead of because we won ground. We got them out of 1/3 into another. Now we want to get possession and move forward. Right. So we can see that this guy here is immediately trying to play offside. This defender here is Kyle Walker, and he's absolutely awful. So is he going to stay? So we've got 1, 2, 3, and solid sort of block in the middle, or is he going to run wide for no reason and create a massive gap here? Let's find out. What are these two going to do? So as we move this forward here, oh no, he runs wide and creates a massive gap. He steps forward to play them offside. Like, can you see how bad this is right here? And the problem why this is terrible is because no one's on the same page. No one knows what the playbook is. No one knows what they're supposed to be doing. No one has any clue whatsoever. So now we don't win the ball back in midfield here. They cut through just very, very simply. Now we've got to look for the second point of pressure. Can this guy step up, or is he caught like a deer in the headlights, flat-footed? Well, he's a deer in the headlights, flat-footed. That's exactly what he is right now. So when he moseys on through, bomb, there we go. Now look what's happened. Because we don't have the system, because we don't know what we're doing, we've got now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players around the ball, and only 3 here are actually on the behind the line of scrimmage. Do we actually win the ball? And not one of them is close enough to pressure, and the one guy that is kind of running away from it. But don't worry, Kyle Walker's helped expose that massive gap there, which is brilliant. And we're just going to put a through ball to this little wee chappy here. And why is this bad? Because we got so many different people pressuring the ball, you don't know whose job is whose, because if they did, they'd only have one person pressuring it, not 3 in this zone here. So when this moves on, when we go here, look, 1, 2, 3 are right here, taken out of the way. These other 2 on the left and right back situation here, if they knew the system and the system was to push up with them, they would have been in line with these 3 clowns that are pushed on, and they would have been here. So this guy would have been offside anyway because they were squeezing the play. Well, they weren't squeezing the play, but they were in the middle of the field. So you got half the team squeezing the play, half the team trying to do something completely different. And that's why you know that there is just no organization at the back. There is no plan. There is no structure. They don't know what they're doing, because you can't have that many players doing one thing and that many players doing something completely and utterly opposite of what you're doing and be Manchester City. If you're doing it any other team, yeah, fine, but you've just won 4 Premier Leagues on the bounce. You're an organised, structured team. You don't make these mistakes, and this is huge. You don't make these mistakes, and not only are they making them, they're making them in abundance. So now this little wee striker still got a lot to do. Ball goes out to him. He has a little bit of a touch, and then he's got to do something, which is kick it into the net box. Does it quite well, gets himself a goal. Let's move on to the next one. I'm only going to show you this highlight from an analytical point of view because Man City as a team don't normally put crosses into the box, which I don't understand. Well, I do understand why they do it. I know way too much why they don't do it. But when you've got someone like Erling Haaland, you do want to put balls in the box, just whip him in any old style, because he will score from them. And this was just a warning sign to Crystal Palace that they need to watch and keep pressure on these actual wide areas before they cross the ball in. So that's all I'm showing this for, is to show the fact that, oh yeah, look, they're putting in crosses, and you need to be aware to defend these, because normally that's not what City are doing, but they are in this particular game. It's a shame this cuts into a close-up, so I can't really show you exactly what I want to, but I'm going to explain it to you a little bit and then move it, and you'll see some of it. Right. So There's multiple different phases and micro phases in play of what goes on in a game of football. This isn't a transition. We've got a defensive set and we've got an attacking team set. So we've got an attacking team trying to break down a defensive team that are set. They're in their defensive position, or they're what's the actual technical word? I think it's OD and AD, isn't it? So, but they're in their OD, right? So when you're actually looking at this, you know that they're looking to whip in crosses because we just showed you that a second ago. And we've got a situation where the ball goes out wide here. Now, remember, as a player here, as the right back, we know that if we go out here, okay, let's just get rid of some of these lines so I can show you this a little bit better. And when this ball goes out here, what we want to be being aware of is the space that's going to go in between there and there. And this guy is going to make a run into that gap there. So you're going to see that right here at the end of this little clip, but we zoom in on this fella and it kind of ruins it, right? So you know you have to get out there and close the ball down. Why do you know you have to get out there and close the ball? Because we've seen they're whipping in crosses to Haaland. Here he is right here. So we're setting our defensive shape. We know that this guy, as soon as he makes a run, someone has to track him, either him or him coming across to cut out the pass. And the only reason that has to happen is because otherwise he cannot go out here and pressure the player wide. If none of those other things happen when he pressures the player out wide, it gives it to this guy in this little half space and he gets to go in at goal. So those things have to happen, or this player doesn't run fully out there and pressure the ball properly. And that's what happens. Watch what happens. So as we move this forward here, right, we're looking to pass the ball. You can see he's jogging out there. I'm not quite happy with, can you see how deep he is here? I kind of like, and it does, it's only 2 yards, but it doesn't matter. I prefer him just a little bit deeper, just there. Okay. So he starts to make his run. As we see this, watch this little run in behind here. Watch this. Do you see he's set? Off he goes. So now he goes, okay, he's going. But the problem here as well is this guy doesn't go to the ball. Look, you see his body shape? He went to run, and now he's curved a little bit to try to block down the angle this way instead of doing the fundamental thing, which is go to the ball. He doesn't do it. Do you see he's trying to shut the narrow angle down at the pass, and all he's doing is letting this guy have time and time on the ball. He's not close enough. That distance is probably twice as big. He wants to be there, dumb. And he could have done it because he had time when the ball is passed to make up that ground and make the player make a decision. Instead, he lets him have the ball and time out. And because he's so far away from him and he's left him time, as soon as he's just chinked back onto his foot to whipping across, here's Haaland. 1v1. Don't know why these guys aren't trying to help the guy here. And look, Hughes is pointing out, remember, Cassius rule, someone points their arm telling somebody else what to do. In the next 5 seconds, someone's going to score in the Premier League. And that's exactly what's about to happen. Not close enough, can't pressure, can't stop the cross coming in because you don't understand the basics of how to get your distance to time right when the pass is made so you can close down that angle. Nowhere near close enough. So now the ball goes in the box, and for some reason we've got 1, 2, 3 players doing absolutely nothing, and we're just letting this one guy fight with Erling Haaland on the back post. It's all right, guys, he's not very good. I've been told, I saw it on the YouTubes, Haaland's not very good. I'm sure someone thinks he's rubbish. So when this ball comes in, now it's just a case of him putting it into the net box, and that's what he does. Overall, an easy goal that they could have stopped. They just didn't. Not much to really say on this, except for it's Kyle Walker, again, letting a ball go in the back of the net, again, because he's rubbish at the football. Now, it's not that much of a fight. He doesn't really, well, the Crystal Palace player does well, but what I mean is Kyle Walker doesn't put that much of a fight up to try to really stop the guy. He's just there. And there's good fights going on, honestly. Everyone's pretty much doing a good job, except for the one player here. When the ball comes across, look, there he is fighting. He's not really jumping, Kyle Walker. He's not really trying to do anything. Everyone else is fighting. Look at these City players all scrapping away with the Crystal Palace players. When this ball drops in here, doesn't really do anything, because his body shape isn't quite right, again, because it's Kyle Walker and he doesn't know how to defend properly. And it's just an easy header. Look, he's not even jumping to challenge for it. Why can't he jump to challenge for it? Because his body shape's wrong. He isn't adjusting to the flight of the ball. He's not really watching it. He's just, because that's how bad he is. And then it goes to the back of the net. Now he's like, oh, is it everyone else? What? It's your fault, mate. Yeah, you should have been marking the player. You know, the one that was jumping on you? Yeah, you should have been stopping him. But let's get on to the next goal. So again, this is a classic a classic state of people not holding their shape. A couple of things are quite good though. Will Hughes, I've seen him. Didn't he play for Derby years ago? Actually does quite a good thing of putting pressure on the ball and making the first pass happen. The problem is, right, when you're doing this, unless the rest of your team is with you when you're making that sort of there's no point in you really doing it. So as he pressures the ball there, watch, the pass is gone. The guy here was completely unaware. Let's get back just a second. Right, he's completely unaware of what he's doing. This Crystal Palace player is ball watching. He's not paying any attention to the player making the run into this space here. This guy is not paying any attention to this player running in. Look at him. He's looking at the ball. So what does that tell you? It tells you that he doesn't understand that when Will Hughes is putting pressure, that this guy is looking to pass the ball. Why? Well, because otherwise he loses it. Where's he going to pass it? He can turn, go here, turn, go here. Are you anywhere near this player and this player? No. Where are the other options he can go? He can turn all the way around, pass it to here, or pass it right in front of you where you're stood. So when he does this, here's the pressure. Look. So you see his feet? See his movement? He's set. That means he's not anticipating. He's not ready for where the ball's going to go. And when it's passed into here, you've got two players that aren't even paying attention to what Will Hughes is doing, pressuring. You can see this guy is waiting for the pass to go here. In his fairness, you can see his body shape, and he's hoping he passes it to here and goes for that back that way. That's what he's doing. But as he's not, when this pass goes across, bosh, there we go, one touch straight in. And that's why you've got to anticipate it and be in the right place, because otherwise you do not have time. Now, this guy, you can see that little pocket of space where no one has gone, right? This is why it's important when we talk about pockets of space stood in front of centre-backs, because that means the centre-back has to make a choice and go. You don't go. If you go, you open up that whole blind side over here. So you can't go. This guy does, because he's the only one that's not doing anything. He's marking his player. What do you mean he's marking? He can't go. Well, he can if they both go at the same time to keep him offside, but you really don't. You want the one guy that's not doing anything to go towards the ball. He doesn't. But the guy out here opens up the space. He doesn't need to pressure. He doesn't need to come away from this mark, because if he doesn't, this guy doesn't have any space. He can still stand there. Now, he might try to thread the ball through behind you. Fine. He still might be able to do that, but you've made it easy for him. You've just said, go on, mate, put the ball behind me and he can kick it into the net box. So he goes, okay. And he does that. And all of a sudden, 1-3-1, and it's into the net box. And that's just for players not pressuring together as a unit. When the ball is pressured, not understanding that the ball's pressured and we need to intercept that little pass. The other thing is, well, we don't pressure from the right back situation. I don't think he's the right back and whatever. And open up that gap for the player behind us. It's basic. Like, you can't afford to do that. And yeah, do you want to go to the ball? But not at this time. You can't afford to. You want to sit there and hold, make sure he can't pass it to that player, and hope one of those midfielders comes in behind and nicks the ball, because you're in danger. You don't give it that easy to them, and they just gave it that easy to him. I think the wee kiddie ends up getting himself off in the end. Getting himself sent off in the end. We don't have any intros right now. I've got some computer issues, but other than that, I'll see you next time on Cash Talks Football.